one was follow up with the neighborhood plan, one was program management for us as a group, and the other one was
Communications.
thank you, the communications thing. And since that might be Jerry, we'll wait on communications. But we could, let's see, we could adopt minutes. So
Minutes, and,
yeah,
and
Jerry-
I'd also like to give a treasurer's report. I haven't done that.
Right. And then we want to go and talk about the outstanding charges for the event, because I think that the budget we submitted would cover that. So we just need to submit the outline receipts.
I'm glad we're talking about this, because my only thing is Bob and I did want to make a donation, so not all of it, and we can.
Maybe you would like to consider donating to the event fund for future events, and we can cover this because it was in our budget by the budget for our community organization.
So do both.
Right, you
Reimburse
donated
you
to
for
a.
your expenses and then you donate.
Okay,
So it works out
is
the
that a
same.
better
but
option? Is that a better way to do
Well,
it?
I think so. That
Is it cleaner?
It's traceable.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
then let's.
Hey,
Jerry,
how you doing?
clean is good.
Just go, it's like into the.
Welcome on this side, or I think there's a spot over there.
Okay. This is apple cider and fizzy water mix, but home press apple cider, so raw apple cider
How did you press this?
with the cider press.
Where do you get this out of?
There's two in the neighborhood, and I go to their houses and press there.
Wow. You know, they make cider presses. The guy made some over in Veneta, right? Did you get the Veneta one?
This one, my friend has had since the early 70s, so I don't know who made it, but it's now his son repairs them because we rebuilt it last year. So I don't know who.
It's a squirrel on the. Got that thing right, sorry.
But makes the meeting very interesting.
Welcome, Jerry. So let's start by talking about minutes, and I would entertain a motion to adopt the minutes as amended by Terry via email.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Matt. And all in favor of accepting those minutes?
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous. So then let's go into what we were talking about, which was the outlying expenses for the concert. That's on our agenda. And we can-
Let me give the treasurer's report.
Oh, yes, please.
There's in our account, there's a total of $3,391.99. There's about $90, and I think in E and I account too, but special events account right now is $367. Garden account is $2,501.64, which leaves a general fund of $523.35.
Okay,
Thank you.
good to know. So Terry, I don't have your email in front of me of what you said was uncovered, but when we submitted our year program, we had a total for the event estimated between $3,700 and $3,800 plus dollars, and we had a grant for $2,500, and so we had uncovered expenses here of $1,234 to $1,384 in our budget.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, given that all my interactions with Cindy so far, the city has not said like a formal yes, all of your neighborhood plan things are covered. But when we started, or we like late July, and I sent her an email saying, we haven't heard anything about the budget that you required us to submit early. And we're already well into our events and we will be spending money. So I need to know. And she said, okay, well, I looked it over and it looks like it's all good. That's what I've heard. So
What's that mean?
I think that means
They just
I'm
signed a
gonna
check and we
take
filled it
that
out.
to mean that the things we ask for are the things we can ask for.
Regardless
And so-
of the grant that we got from the city.
Yeah, well,
Right.
our thing says that in addition to the grant, we would have another $1,300 of expenses for that event. So whatever those expenses are, we should just submit those.
Okay, because I have it now in front of me, sorry.
Mhm.
I had to look it up. So the total concert expenses were $3,316.58. We got the $2,500 grant, the $250 from the foundation, leaving $566.58.
Well, then they're getting a bargain because we told them we'd be asking for upwards of $1,200.
568, what?
566.58.
That's the outstanding, that
Mhm.
we don't actually have covered by current money.
Yes. And I want to make sure, was that my revised? Hold on, because remember when I found the discrepancy? Let me see this. Let me just see. It's a few dollars.
$250 was from where?
The foundation.
Foundation.
So that covers the canopies that we asked in the chair? Because in our budget, the canopies, we only put in $675 for that, but it cost us more than that.
It was almost 1,000.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So then something else must have been less expensive.
Action rental was less expensive.
No, we went with destination.
I know, but Action was going to be, but they didn't deliver on Sunday. So
So maybe.
Right.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
that's
So
where
no-
that
no
money,
deposit.
that's where that, estimate came from.
Right, I get that, but then our total should have been, well, whatever. In any case, I think we should just ask for it and not worry about it. Just submit the.
She's already okayed the postcard mailing, so
Mhm.
thanks for that.
And so then we should just look back, and if there are, so your expenses for otter pups and other things could be covered because we specifically asked for at least $50 in drinking water and supplies. And then an extra $100 for entertainment, which I thought would be more like toys. So if you ended up buying toys for this, we could submit receipts for that too.
I'll take a look and see if I have receipts, but it's not a huge deal to me. But
And the ice that your family donated to.
Yeah.
that was way too much ice.
Not for justice, they were thrilled. Absolutely thrilled.
So yeah, you could well, that could actually go right into that one.
I did not include that. He
Uh-huh.
said it was a donation, but it needs to be on the record. Those
Right, it really helps if
Donated
all that stuff
for
to
the
be on the
ice.
record, because then it flows forward. Say, well, this is how much you spent last year, and
Right.
it's this much again.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we'll find receipts. It
And it was, I thought you said it was about
was like 80,
$90.
yeah, 85, $90, something like that.
Well, if you have receipts for that, we could submit it as a cost for the event and just get
And then I'll
reimbursed
reimburse.
for it.
I can find that
Let's
because it's on
do
my
that.
Costco.
Yeah.
Mhm. Because it's still well within our budget there.
You're right. It is for kind of forecasting ahead. It's actually good.
To have a clean accounting of what actually happened.
Yeah.
And then if they say, well, we'll do yes, this, no, not that, then maybe we have to find something else, but I think it's worth.
Cut the
putting it
ice
in
out.
there.
then.
Yeah.
You can't get it if you don't ask.
Doesn't
Mhm.
hurt to ask, yeah.
Right, so let's just do that.
Just return the ice.
Yes.
Got some pretty strange looks in the parking lot walking out with. I think it's like 20 plus bags of ice. People
And
like,
the other big ones too.
yeah, there's a lot of ice.
Uh-huh.
But it all.
Filled the whole, yeah, filled the back of my truck.
Did you say, well, the power's out at the morgue?
People, well, one person was like, I want to go where you're going.
You said you can't.
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, it's open to everybody.
Okay. All right, so I think that if we can get all this covered by our budget, then I think we're good, yeah?
Okay. Okay.
And that's what we're gonna plan for, because that's what we said we wanted. And if you need help submitting that to Cindy or whatever, let me know.
I can just send my list of expenses plus Max?
Well, I think they need actual receipts or photographs of receipts or.
You have them.
I have copies of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's what I've done with her in the past.
Okay.
Get reimbursed.
You want to get those back to you.
no, because I have those, your copies were copies. I have my copies.
And then I wanted to discuss programming for our general meetings, because up till now, we've either just had the feeling that something will happen and we will be able to fill the slots, or Kate, you figure it out. And I'm done with that as our model, because every time we have to do a mailing and we want to be able to let people know what we're going to be doing to bring more people into the organization, we don't have anything on the books, and that becomes stressful for Jerry and for everybody else who's trying to manifest something in a very short time frame. So And that's not, I think it needs to be a shared responsibility.
I recommend the program committee.
Okay, and how do we staff that committee?
Volunteers from the board and the community,
Yeah,
so we decide who's gonna chair it, that's on the board. I'm not volunteering, I'm just saying. And, whoever wants to join, and then bring it up at the next general meeting and say we would like people to be on this committee, and have a meeting time on their own, and they get a list of possibilities, and have them contact people if they feel like it, and then present that to the board. And we decide what we think is an appropriate thing. And we tell them it can be anything, think out of the box, and just put together a list, and then anything that we really think we like as a board, really we'll just be throwing out oddball things, because I think anything goes, right?
yeah.
So-
And then there will be things that we'll suggest, I think, based on what we
That's
know
right.
is coming up as.
Is there any sequence of kinds of meetings that we want to do on a regular basis, sort of emergency planning meetings, that homeless stuff,
SJC meetings,
SJC meetings? I mean, do we have any
other buckets,
Mhm.
not
we
not
have a-
that's. Yeah, basically emergency preparedness people have dropped off the map.
Okay.
So both George and Joel, and they're not even participating with Ready Northwest or the other group.
And that happens a lot. I've been involved in that for several decades.
Uh-huh.
Unless there's emergencies happening, people just don't have it on the front of their.
Right.
I don't know if there was some specific topics that kind of got recycled.
They pass some, sorry, I'll let you, they pass some of the stuff to me, and then I post it,
Mhm.
but it's getting fewer. Actually.
Uh-huh.
The SJC internally has a commitment to present an educational piece quarterly. So that's our goal as a committee. And so they've been doing it, and they've been happening.
So they've been
That's
great.
kind of what I'm asking.
Yeah, so that's a quarterly meeting. And we don't have, we're like 2 or 3, 10, like 3 sessions ahead usually, like, we know what's coming, or at least ideas are 2 or 3 sessions ahead, so we know what's this quarter. I think we talked about thoughts like for the next quarter, although I don't remember off the top of my head right now. And then, so we're always we're a little bit ahead on it, but I couldn't tell you today, like the whole year's work, because we're not that far ahead.
But if we knew that on specific meeting dates, it was going to be an SJC presentation, that at least could get into something like the postcard or the newsletter.
Right, and we only do those quarterly, right? So that's our idea, is 2 newsletters and 2 postcards. And those are the opportunities for us to forecast what's going on,
Right.
so that we can get people. So you don't have to go a year. in
Yeah,
advance.
yeah,
It's really only,
right.
4 months, 3 to 4 months in advance. And if we can figure that out, and now that we have a little bit of a break in our general meeting schedules by having board meetings, hopefully we can catch up, be able to help direct, at least until we have a functioning committee, as Tim suggests. Yeah, you go ahead.
Do folks think that there's people who will volunteer for a program committee?
I have no idea.
I don't know of anybody off the top of my head, but you never know till you ask.
Yeah.
What's the goal of the program then? Are we trying to gain new members? Are we trying to put on meetings to bring people in? Are we trying to?
That is a great question that we really have never talked about.
And I just also, I think, addressing current
Yeah,
concerns or opportunities, like the way our meetings have been. I think that's the kind of programming we're talking about, unless somebody has a lot more input on that. Occasionally we have guest speakers, we have current event topics that are related to the municipalities or work going on in the neighborhood or what have you, but
It's evolved over time. Like when the neighborhood plan was really intense process, there were lots related to that. It does tend to ebb and flow with current events. I would say. But I don't remember us ever having a conversation where we actually thought proactively about, which would be good. It's kind of what you're talking about. We thought proactively
Because it's a
about.
huge burden.
Well, and we didn't have board meetings, so we didn't have a chance to just talk about board stuff, which is the things we have here. And I would just also throw in that, it has been stated multiple times from multiple people that it would be more fun if the meetings were more fun and that if there were more, more either social content or food and having concerts now maybe is a new phase that is really good for community fun, but whether the membership meetings can have something in it that isn't just the latest dry topic of concern.
Mhm.
Like a time frame of meet and greet, like mingling.
Could be. I mean, that's on it's on the table. Like, we can make the membership, now that their membership meetings separate from board meetings, I think we can craft them in the way we
I say
want.
we bring back gambling.
Well, that's always been fun.
Yeah.
And we would have roll dice at the end of the meeting and
Yeah.
you get half the pot.
Forgot about that.
But we don't need the operating funds anymore for that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Depends on what we have going.
There are lots of neighborhood associations that have, instead of a meeting one month, they have like a cookie swap or a Christmas, whatever, or, like
Chili.
we can
yoga,
choose
yeah.
to have something on one of our general membership meeting nights, or we could choose to have something on a board meeting night that's more of a fun thing at the church, whatever. All those things are possible.
I saw one neighborhood advertise that they have a picnic.
Yeah.
Is it once a year or something?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty typical of 5 neighborhoods that I can think of. Is they have an annual picnic, but that's not really meeting, that's a picnic.
Right.
I don't know.
But-
In addition to the
that's-
meetings.
But that's the fun part that Dawn's talking about, is something so that people can meet each other and do something other than.
It's hard to predict. Sometimes people come to us like Reed Dunbar or somebody says, I'm ready to talk about transportation. And so we can't say, well, we've got our schedule full until for the next 6 months. It's kind of hard to predict these kind of things coming in.
Uh-huh.
Could we reach out to those folks, like Reed, and say, what do you have coming? So that rather than us being on the end of, can say, I have something,
I don't know.
we ask him what he's thinking about.
Well,
so
we
can fit it in.
asked him and Logan this last time, like they didn't come to us, we went to them and said, hey, there are these things going on in our neighborhood. Come and talk about it. So I think, if we're only planning out 2 or 3 meetings, I don't think that it's unrealistic to do that and then not have a lot of extra space, right? I think if they have a short thing, we can fit somebody in, no problem,
Definitely.
we'll make 15 minutes available. But if they need an hour, then I think most other organizations actually have planned their meetings. Or
Do we want to have, you kind of suggested one of your emails of having a co-meeting with like the River Road Community Organization. I think that sounds good. Or even having something on the website where we invite people to come in with their topics and invite presenters to come in there. At least as we don't okay right away, but it's something to give us some idea on that. I don't know how much traffic we get on the website for that.
Little iffy in terms of scheduling because River Road meets the second Monday of each month. We meet the first Thursday of each month.
we have done co-join events and we can do, they have a new dynamic in that their free space is no longer free to them.
Right.
Now, all the places in their neighborhood charge them to meet. So that's new for them because they would have a general meeting every month and a board meeting every month because it was free and they could do that and they had the bandwidth for it. And now they're
Emerald Park is
thinking.
said,
Would a meeting, because I agree with Scott that I think a joint meeting with River Road periodically, twice a year, or once a year, or whatever, just to say, hey, we work closely together, what's going on in both jurisdictions, I think would be important. Is it something that we could do, have our meeting and attend their meeting in the same month? I know that's 2
I
meetings.
almost think that's a board-to-board meeting
Right.
rather than a membership, than shared membership meetings. I
Oh,
think it'd be
so-
more
Yeah.
valuable
Yeah.
if our board met with their board.
What are you guys doing?
Well,
Yeah.
they just like our meetings are available, their meetings are available. Any of you can attend their board meeting or their general meeting and participate. Like,
Find out what's going on with that. Yeah,
you can show up or you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
right.
And so I do periodically attend their meetings, and I do, Claire Strawn on their board, and I am on their email list. So when they have events, I can ask for our people to put it out. And when we have events, I can send it to her to put it in her newsletters. But, and then we do need to, when we get to the topic of the neighborhood plan implementation, which is on our agenda tonight, we need to create a committee together. And yes, we will have some stuff separate for our neighborhood and their neighborhood, but I think a lot of this is also priorities we can make together. And they've reached out to us and asked us, and the only person who's volunteered to be on the committee so far is Scott. So we could work that way, and I think that would help us dovetail more with what they're up to.
Do we have any, I've noticed in my short time on the board that certain meetings have a ton of people coming into them, and certain meetings are not quite so much.
Uh-huh.
So do we have it like a general over the last several years, what type of meetings? Is it the homeless ones? Obviously, we got a couple big groups for that.
Annexation.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Increase our membership, we could just start having meetings about annexation.
Or LTD.
Or the bridge over the Willamette, or, those things. Those are all hot, but, anything that gets people's nippers in a wad is gonna get them to a meeting.
But that's not exactly the meetings we want to have, so.
Well, we do need to have
We need
those.
to- yeah, we need to have
Uh-huh.
those.
But maybe not at every meeting.
Some,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some, but it's not,
Uh-huh.
some do be pretty.
So one controversial meeting at least every year.
How many are we talking about? Because I'm hearing that SJC is doing one a quarter.
Well, 1 a quarter is 4, right?
And we have.
And we only have 8 general meetings a year, so it's at this point.
So we're talking about four meetings that we need to fill,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and their space.
although it's not like the SJC topic is the whole meeting.
Right. So we,
So I'm saying, is it a guest that you're bringing in typically, which you have, which has been great?
Mhm. But it doesn't, it'll be anywhere from, 45 minutes to an hour of the meeting, but it won't be the whole meeting.
Yeah, they've been really good.
I think if it's just 4, and if we don't get the traction for subcommittee for meeting topics, that we can just start like an email thread amongst us, like the next general meeting is now 3 months out.
Mhm,
Go, everyone comes up with at least one idea.
mhm.
We can vote and say what we think is good out of
I
those.
think that's
That's
great.
that's a good suggestion.
And even having, I do Boy Scouts, and so we're always thinking about where to go camping the next month. We try to go every month, and I have years and years of camp out. So the first thing I do is look at where we've already gone,
That's right.
and that's kind of my foundation. Of course, you want to do new stuff, right? So,
Maybe I want to be in your group instead.
Camping.
I go camping.
Maybe we should have a general membership camp out
Oh, my
where
God.
everybody sleeps outside in the park.
I think we might be arrested.
Oh.
Point will be to get arrested so we can be in the paper about talking about. Oh, is it
I'll bring
illegal
our
to sleep
tents to the
here?
LTD lot.
Tell Scott. One thing that this makes me think of too is I know we talk about some of those hot button issues as having better attendance and passion. And part of what we do is allow space for voice for the community. And some of those issues I think are really important that we have them, even though emotions are high and opinions differ in my crucial conversations training, but I think they're really, really good to have. And if we're not doing some of those, that's where we get a lot of the pushback on you
We're
don't
not
really
represented.
represent. Yeah, we don't really
Right.
represent.
Right.
So it's something to,
Yeah.
Well, how do we put the finger on active topics that are current? Even on a small scale. So like in the summertime, what are people's buttons that are being, well, people are littering or people are making noise or having parties. So, I'm not saying those are things. I'm
finances
saying-
is always when it impacts somebody's finances or impacts their children. And that's why I think, asking when you have littles, like some of us feel so removed from that. I don't yet have grandkids. And my kids are grown, but knowing, Matt, what's important to you for school? And that's why I'm thrilled that we're having a conversation with the new principal at North, because these have been, school board issues have been issues for the last several years. And
School
they
board's a
are,
good presentation.
I'm not sure you want this school.
No, not the whole school board, but a representative.
but I think
Come and talk.
where parents have an opportunity to ask questions respectfully. Not everybody gets to a school board meeting, but to say, you know, my kid is attending this school, or my kid might attend this school. What's the vision?
I think that'd be
I
great.
have some concerns, so.
Well, if there, isn't that what the school board meeting is for? What makes our meeting a better place to talk about?
Well, I'm just thinking back, I think 2 years now, when one of the issues with one of the groups of people that were attending often, one of the things, the side conversations that would come up about their concerns would be, and schools. And it was very passionate. It really wasn't what we were doing, but maybe we can figure out, you know, how do you have maybe those.
In schools, meaning what? Like, can we talk about schools? Can we talk about what's going on in our schools?
It was more concern over what was going wrong in schools and the direction that leadership was taking. And because I'm removed from that and I don't have kids, I did, but it's been a while. It would be nice to say to our Santa Clara community, you know, maybe we put out, who brought up the questionnaire? Didn't somebody bring up a questionnaire
Yeah.
at the Games in the Park, maybe? To have like what do people in Santa Clara feel about these 10 issues? And just get some feedback. And if there are 3 that people are like, or, you know, then maybe that's what we
With plenty of empty lines for them to put in their own issues.
right. Oh yeah. Yeah, not just yes or no or
Well, if we're coming up with the issues, then we're not really getting.
yeah, what else
drawing
would you
them
like
into
to what
it.
else would you like to talk about?
I think the school board issue, Don, to your point is, you know, going to a school board or even PTO meeting can be intimidating. There's a lot of people that is very official. Our meeting is a little bit more, you know, open. You can ask questions that you might not ask at these other ones. And plus we're so centrally located at the church, I think, I don't know.
So it's a place where someone gets to attend maybe by school board meeting. And also it's a different time of day, you know, it's a different time slot. So maybe for some reason they can't go to school board meetings. So this is another
A
opportunity. to talk about schools.
little problematic with 3 different school districts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
which actually might be
So-
good. You could have 3 different school, you know, 3
Yeah.
different principals,
I have
representative.
thought, before I lose it. How about a topic where someone comes in and describes how to present to a school board or to give testimony in a public meeting, and just the mechanics of that and how to make yourself not be so freaked out about it. You know, there's got to be some consultants around that.
Well, training in general would be kind
Yeah,
of
we
fun,
need
right?
consultant. I'd be happy.
Well,
to tell
yeah.
them how to
Well,
do
there you
that.
It's very on Don.
It's a meeting.
I'd be happy to tell them how to make their voice heard.
One that I'd be interested in, I think the school one's great, is just a general infrastructure. I don't know if be it the park. That's the one that I heard about at the music festival. Was a lot of people were asking about what's going on with the park, and that there had been all this construction and now it died off. What's going on? And I didn't really know. So that's kind of, you know, at the forefront of infrastructure right now. I think that the intersection at Irving is at the forefront. So any kind of general infrastructure work that is going on, be it City of Eugene, traffic, parks, eWeb, Northwest Natural, just having like an infrastructure.
Well, we can invite Mark.
Broadband?
Mhm.
Broadband, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Well, so we've addressed the Irving Hunsaker with our last meeting, theoretically.
Great job, by the way.
So.
And every time
Not into that.
we go through that intersection of like, okay, he said 18 months at the meeting, didn't he? Before that's gonna be done?
Well, are they gonna have one lane for 18 months?
I
Probably
have
not.
no
I don't
idea.
think, I don't think they will make it.
What we've done for 18 months with that in itself is just mind boggling,
It would be,
considering how long it's been in that condition.
maybe one of the questions we answer is, how long will that be, that those two lanes be one lane? What's the projection? Just to put out in the newsletter for people,
Uh-huh.
because I have heard so many people complaining. I mean, it's,
Maybe that's something we could start having on our website, like questions we've heard. And then we try to find the answer instead of creating a whole meeting around it.
Yeah.
Like we can just
right.
have those as like rolling things on the website so people can go like, I wonder what. And then there could be also a place like question I'd like to ask. So then, and that wouldn't be on you to answer, but somehow just like you could send it to me and I could try to suss it out.
Or for
You don't need more to do.
Or somebody, Matt, clearly Matt wants to.
I don't need more to do.
Website committee.
No, but I mean, I think that kind of thing is helpful to people.
Yes.
Like FAQ, but it
Yes.
would be more like RAQ, recently asked questions.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Good.
Because then those sort of like, and then if we get to a place where there's like a meeting coming up and that they're going to be featured, there's the recently asked question to answer and then come hear more at blah, 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 right? We could
Come to our
just-
next infrastructure meeting.
is Tim the website guy? So are we asking him to
Well, I
do
don't know.
something?
I'm really not the content guy. I am the infrastructure guy.
So that's
So-
another thing we need to talk about,
No,
because
it's
Gary
on the
Nowinski
agenda.
just said November 1st, he's done.
Well, he said that several.
I know,
Well,
but
He's
sometimes-
not good about it.
Sometimes he means it.
Sometimes he means it because he's no longer the.
He wants to be it. He certainly wants to.
so,
And I've been helping them. My people do send me some stuff and I'm not gonna send it out.
Yeah.
I will post it. I don't want to be kind of responsible for getting stuff posted in a timely manner because I just can't do that. But certainly we'll train everybody to have a login that will post. And several people would be great.
I'm okay, thank you.
does anybody want to be the website poster or one of the website post people?
That's not my smartphone.
It's not mine either. So maybe we need to reach out a little farther then and see if we can find somebody.
Yeah, Tim, I can help. I mean, if you're willing to sit down and show me what you want me to do.
It's not really complicated.
WordPress site, right?
I'm sorry.
This is just a WordPress
It's just a
site.
WordPress site.
I'm happy to help with the,
The mechanics of it.
yeah.
Well.
I'm also not a content generator type person, but
Well, generally
yet.
what happens is stuff comes in and I field it because it often comes to me and then I send it to Holinsky G at, and say for our web. And so oftentimes they have a graphics thing already.
Mhm.
Sometimes it needs a little bit of words to frame it, but,
He does it website, Facebook.
I don't know all those things.
Yeah.
So,
It's multiple.
does it, I know
Platforms.
WordPress can automatically
The
post.
WordPress automatically pushes to Facebook.
Oh, I like
And
that.
Twitter is done on that. And so I don't do social media at all. So even though both Santa Clara and Foundation presences hang off of my account, I don't participate in those. So in other words, I don't go directly there and post things. But when I post, Gary or I have posted things on the website, automatically gets pushed to, there's a checkbox. This is something you don't want to push there, then you uncheck the box. And it doesn't, it just stays on the website. And we have subscribers to the website, 300 or so, in addition to the Facebook subscribers. And so they automatically get the posting in their email, whether they've joined the Facebook group or not. So just information.
so are you tentatively okay being that guy? Like instead of to Gary Olinsky starting in
Well,
November?
the three of us should get together and talk about it separately.
That would be great.
100% happy to
Maybe
help
Robert,
out
I can-
and tentatively okay being that guy. I'd prefer to help out rather than just being that guy.
And that's why I don't want to be that guy. So many things going on. And there's, oh, just Tim's the guy. So send it to Tim and he'll take care of it.
Well, I just
Yeah.
need somebody to be the guy to send it to. Then what happens amongst the group of people who are capable of doing that? Because
You're totally capable of doing it. You just refuse to.
She's got a little bit.
Yeah, she's got enough. on her plate.
I'm not
You know,
gonna lie.
always do.
I never thought I'd see the day where Kate brought a laptop
Hey,
to a
don't go
meeting.
down that rabbit hole.
just say no. I'll say no for right
She's brought a
now.
laptop quite a
And
few
so-
times.
Yeah, just like years ago, like I remember when the laptop first started coming out, I was like, what? That's not.
How about that? Now I even have a cell phone.
Surprised it's not a
It does
pitchfork.
say it's from Maryland, and I don't know how to put my phone number in there or how to even record a message on it. But aside from that,
I could post it.
Might be a stolen
If I
laptop.
can help you with that.
okay. So for now, we'll let Tim and Louie and Gary get together and suss out
It's good.
and stuff. And then if you
Well,
guys,
Gary, yeah.
if you guys think you need somebody else, we can reach out because there are other people in the neighborhood that are super techie people, and maybe they don't want to be parts of meetings or anything else, but maybe this is right up their alley and they would love to volunteer this way. So we can ask about that.
I'd,
Well,
I'd be
it's
willing to
just like
help.
some
out.
people aren't the ones you want to target
Oh, okay,
because they don't want to do content management.
okay.
They want to do techie stuff. It's not techie stuff.
So we want somebody who likes words.
Jerry
Like
knows.
marketing.
Oh,
But for marketing people,
You want marketing.
social media people,
Right.
I
That's a
mean,
whole different breed of person.
anybody that can do a social media post can do this.
I'll say that anytime I see a post from the Santa Clara community, I press like so that it generates engagement, so it shows up in other people's feed. Any engagement you can do with the posts helps it get more eyeballs.
There's this is kind of off subject, but there was a neighborhood site, what's that called? But the neighbor,
Engage Eugene?
no,
Next door.
next door,
Oh,
next door.
Mhm.
Posted somebody posted something that I wasn't aware of all. And that was that there is something called the community response team. And she was became aware of it because they stopped by her house, said community response on their car. And some student had gotten off the bus and never made it home. And so they were tracking this student. They did find her, but there's something going on there that I didn't even know.
you mean it's like a police community response?
No, it is like
Community.
a community
Like neighborhood
service-
watch, like people who've gotten together and they call themselves the
community
community
service
response?
thing, and I don't know if they're
That's the
actually
piece
work
I
out in
want.
the district or.
Because I've seen like an EPD version of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's like the
It's-
community engagement team or whatever.
It's a
EPD.
Multiple functions, like neighborhood watch is kind of one of them. Like, I have a friend in the River Road neighborhood who had people like walking down their street shooting at a truck, and they posted their Ring camera footage, and it got involvement from
Beacon,
the.
right?
Huh?
Wasn't that Beacon?
No, it was close to Emerald Park.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Horn
It
Lane
was
Lake
like
Drive.
6 months ago. Something
Who
like that.
has stuff on the side of their vehicles that's driving around?
That's
And
the part
that I
that's
don't
I don't
odd to
know.
me, like.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, that's.
I'm not going and getting a magnet and throwing it on the side of my truck.
Right. It'd be good, it would be good to.
Yeah, it'd be good to find out who they are.
Yeah, I don't know who we asked.
Park in
The
commercial
school
spots.
district should know because they would be the ones that would be contacted by whoever's students that
Maybe
show up.
there's a question for.
like a
For
vigilante
Mr.
team.
Knows.
It'd be fun.
So you saw this on Nextdoor recently or what?
Yeah, it was about 2 days ago.
Uh-huh. So does somebody else look on Nextdoor? Because we could go see who
I do.
posted it or what.
Occasionally.
We used to.
It's like, eh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just toxic noise.
Well,
Yeah,
this
that's-
is right down Irvington, so I paid attention.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's
Yeah,
good to
plenty-
know who
plenty
the
of
people are.
things.
Okay. So we've kind of discussed social media. Is there more around outreach and social media or that, how you had brought up wanting to talk about, you, Jerry, more? All the different ways we reach out and ways we can improve.
Well, the part of it was just generated from a couple of questions as is how does this work, how does that work, does what? So I think that's what the topic was just who in the group is responsible for each of the parts of communication. And, so that something that should go to Tim doesn't go to you, or something that should come to me doesn't go to
Okay,
really
well,
that kind of thing.
why don't we run through that so everyone's on the same page?
Right. And so my comment there is it's important to have a little bit of a hierarchy. So the president of the board, you would be the one to say approve something that is potentially questionable. Some things like emergency response meetings, things like that, then they can just come through. If they come through you, then you pass them on. If they come directly to me, I'll just put, because I can kind of decide whether it should just get posted and not worry about it. But there could be contentious things